Good evening, everyone. My name is Maybelline Burgos. I'm a rising senior studying computer science and Japanese at the University of North Carolina, Charlotte. I am the former president of the Association of Computing Machinery for Women, and I'm very excited to introduce the next person. Will Reshma Saujani please join me at the podium? Reshma Saujani is the former Deputy Public Advocate of New York City and the former Executive Director of the Fund for Public Advocacy. As a public servant, Saujani harnessed the power of her office to promote civic engagement and government accountability. She spearheaded public projects aimed at spurring citywide job and economic growth, engaging immigrant communities, supporting small businesses, improving education, empowering the public, and using technology to vastly improve the quality of life for all New Yorkers. She also helped immigrant communities gain access to capital and government services and conducted the first ever survey of immigrant entrepreneurs to identify and break down the barriers facing in launching businesses. Saujani earned her bachelor's degree from the University of Illinois, a master's degree in public policy from Harvard University, and law degree from Yale Law School. As the daughter of refugees who fled the violence of Idi Amin's Uganda for the freedom of the United States, she had a personal interest in ensuring a political voice and economic opportunity for all Americans. Saujani is now focusing on Girls Who Code, a nonprofit organization with the mission to educate, inspire, and equip young girls ages 13 to 18 with the skills necessary to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, in which she founded in the spring of 2012. In 2010, Saujani became the first South Asian American woman to run for Congress. She campaigned in New York's 14th Congressional District as a passionate Democrat and community organizer, promoting innovative policies to spur job creation. Her soon-to-be-released book, Women Who Don't Wait in Line, is a call to action to women, encouraging them to step into corporate and government office. Reshma Saujani, through your advances in areas where women have small representation, you are a great role model for women who aspire to make a change by promoting equal opportunities for not only women, but minorities as well. It is with great admiration that the National Conference for College Women Student Leaders and Organizers and attendees, including myself, honor and recognize you as a 2013 Woman of Distinction.
It's Maybelline, right?
First of all, Maybelline, I'm so excited that you are majoring in computer science. You just a serious round of applause for that. It's really incredible, and I know how challenging it is for young women to pursue that degree. So I salute you for that. I want to thank the entire audience for this honor. But what I want to say is that, I didn't walk a straight path to this stage. I failed fast, I failed often, and I failed hard, a lot. As we mentioned, my parents came here from Uganda as political refugees almost 40 years ago. And they came here broke, not knowing the language, having their relatives in refugee camps all across the world. And so in many ways, this country saved not only my parents' life, but saved my life. And I always wanted to serve. And I woke up at age 33, very much in the fetal position, working in the private sector, incredibly depressed. Because if you'd asked that 12-year-old girl what she wanted to do, I would have told you that I wanted to serve, and I wasn't serving. So I kind of walked into my boss's office one day and quit and ran for Congress out of the gate in this upstart race against an incumbent. It was 10 months of almost jumping off a cliff. I remember my first television interview was on Chris Matthews. My life was run by 20-year-olds like everybody in this audience, and we had no idea what we were doing, but it was awesome. And I swore that I was going to win. And I remember on election day, the little thing on the screen wasn't moving past 20%. And I didn't even have a concession speech in my purse. And I remember waking up the next day, and I put my entire life savings into this race. And my victory party that never happened was just a room full of Post-its from all these young people like you sending me well wishes. And it was at that moment that I just broke down and I cried, because I really felt that I had let them down. And we live in a society that's very ashamed of failure. And especially as women, right? We feel like we gotta do the job before we get the job. And when you run for office, it's such a public thing. But all I kept thinking about was the young women, like those of you in the stage, that I had met on the campaign trail and the commitments that I had made. And one of those commitments was how Girls Who Code started. Because I met a lot of people like you, Maybelline, a little bit younger than you, right? That didn't have access to computers, right? When there was 2-year-olds that had iPads coming out of their ears, other young women barely had a computer that worked or a teacher to show them how to use it. And we know where the jobs are. The jobs are in computing and technology. You make $83,000 a year if you're a website programmer. But less than 20% of those are going into those fields, even though we as women make 85% of consumer purchases. We Facebook more, we tweet more. We are technology. But we are not being given the skills to leverage our knowledge and our passion for technology. And I want to change that. And that's why I started Girls Who Code, because I want the next generation of Mark Zuckerbergs and Jack Dorseys to be women, right? We want to inspire a generation of people in this room. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a dancer or the next Alicia Keys. You need to learn how to code. So for all of you in this room who are in college, take a computer science class. If you got a young woman in your life that's in high school, have her take a computer science class. It's important. I just want to end by sharing just a couple of lessons. And the first one is one that Donna already shared with you, which is, apply for the job you're not qualified for all the time. Second, own your ambition. I want to hear it now. I am ambitious. Because we all are, aren't we? And we need to just own it. And it shouldn't be something that we are embarrassed of. Thirdly, really, really embrace the sisterhood. There is not one line, there is not one spot, there are plenty of spots. And the only way that we're going to crash through that glass ceiling is if we do it together. There are 11 million women that have the ability to make hiring decisions. And Donna and I share a same mentor, which is Hillary Clinton. And she's unabashed by the fact that she hires women all the time and puts them into positions that creates a new model of leadership. I want all of you to do the same and really recognize the power of horizontal mentorship. Each and every one of you can help the woman who's sitting right next to you accomplish her dreams, whether it's tweeting her blog out, right, or Facebooking about an accomplishment that she made, or making an introduction to somebody that you met. Own one another's success. And then lastly, and I said it in the beginning, embrace failure and risk. Like if you haven't failed, you haven't done anything yet, ladies. You just haven't. And so don't be afraid of trying something that you've never done before, and don't be afraid to run for an office that you may lose or start a company that might fail, right? Men do it all the time, and we need to really learn from that. Again, I'm really honored to be here today. I want to thank you, Maybelline. I'm so proud of you. You're an inspiration to me. You really are. And so thank you, everybody.